and Haish was allegedly about to reveal some serious information about Ellen DeGeneres. Tragically, she died after a strange car crash. Now, new reports are claiming that and had discovered possible connections between Ellen and the same group of wealthy and powerful people linked to Jeffrey Epstein. However, these claims have not been confirmed.
I was not allowed to go to my own after party for fear that they would get pictures of me with a woman. It was so bad that I was fired from my multi-million-dollar picture deal, and I did not work in a studio picture for 10 years. Name could not be whispered.
I don't know that they wanted to shut you up. I think she wanted to shut you down and shut you out.
And that leads to a question many people keep asking. How deep was Ellen's alleged connection to Epstein's circle? Was Haish preparing to reveal something huge, or was her death simply a tragic event that people later connected to these rumors? Anne and Ellen reportedly began a private relationship in 1997. At the time, being openly gay in Hollywood was much less accepted than it is today. Despite that, the two appeared to be very serious about each other. They reportedly even discussed marriage and made very strong statements about how difficult it would be to live without each other. Their relationship has been described as extremely close and intense, almost like a modern Romeo and Juliet story.
Here with Ellen DeGeneres, nominee, and Haish, presenter. How are you this evening? Lovely, thank you. Hi, Mom. Hi. Oh, she's probably there. Yeah. Hi. There. God, we don't know where to look, and you'd think we'd... Where are you, Joe? Now, you know, my mom, she's kind of like omnipresent. She's everywhere. Especially when it comes to fashion. You are our best-dressed couple this year. No, thank you. Yes, we're very grateful for that award. Well, we know that your Emmy meant a lot and all. I mean, come on, a big year, but the Golden Hanger, significantly more emotional. The Emmy is like, I don't even know where that is. The Golden Hanger is right on the mantle. We were crying for days. And now, who are we wearing tonight? Well, we are wearing Pamela Dennis. And we are wearing Voyage. Love that. Love that. Now, this is great. This is that whole pressed velvet hip thing happening. Now, Wag the Dog. Great movie. Are you having fun with the whole hype and everything that's going on? Well, I've kind of missed the hype because I've been in Hong Kong, but I've heard it's been breaking some records, and I you know, it's the best movie I've ever done. I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and I hope they get Best Comedy tonight. Well, what's next? What's coming up? Oh, I don't know. I'm open to it. I don't know what's going to happen with the show. I'm waiting to find out the fate of my show, and I'm doing a movie with Ron Howard and Matthew McConaughey coming up soon, and I'm going to take some time off. Well, you know what? Take the time off, but they're silly if they don't pick up the show because it's a great show.
But the relationship did not stay secret for long. In April 1997, Anne invited Ellen as her +1 to the premiere of her movie Volcano. According to Anne, that decision reportedly put her career at risk. At the time, bringing Ellen to the premiere was seen as a major problem in Hollywood. And later recalled sitting down with Ellen to discuss bringing her to the event, when 5 men in suits suddenly showed up.
Once you moved to New York, were you've basically been gainfully employed ever since? You've probably taken
it's kind of amazing, other than my blacklisting for taking Ellen DeGeneres to the Volcano premiere years ago, and I didn't do a studio picture for 10 years. People don't know that part of my story or what happened to me because of that experience. But I feel very blessed that I've been able to be working for.
I remember Volcano.
You remember Volcano?
I like that movie.
Thank you. I did too, except I couldn't see the end of it because they ushered Ellen and me out of the premiere before it ended, put us in a car and said, well, we don't want you back here. We will not be accepting pictures of you and Ellen. And then I was fired. I was told before I went to the premiere with Ellen that I would be fired. And I was...
We're talking about 90...
now you're going to put years on... yes.
92? Early, there was 2 volcanoes. Dante's Peak,
yeah, but they came out the
Volcano.
same week.
Right.
Ours won, by the way, and then they blamed me for its failure for taking a woman. I was like, but we were #1 in the box office. The confusion of how I was fired and the fact that nobody has ever acknowledged it is just shows, in a way, it shows how much further we've come. Because if that would have happened today, obviously, it wouldn't happen today, and I feel glad that I'm a part of that.
Ooh, I was right on.
You were.
Yeah. All right, so but Ellen is just coming out.
That was Tuesday night. Wednesday was my Volcano press junket. Thursday night was Volcano. So they knew I wanted to take Ellen. I had never met her before. I didn't know who she was. I was like, whoa, you have your own TV show? That's cool. I'm like, what's it called? And she's like, Ellen. It's called Ellen. Do you know who you are? And I'm like, probably not. She said, you're the it girl. I said, I've never been it. I have never been it. And she's like, you cannot be this close to me. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. You're the most interesting person in the room. Meanwhile, everybody's walking around with statues and everybody else. But she was glowing. Something was so powerful. She was the one person I asked to meet. And when she told me what she was doing, coming out on her show, I was like, you're the most spectacular person in the world. I fell in love with the truth of what that incredible human being was doing. Then I had to be in a relationship with her, so that was a little difficult. So I asked her to go. Premiere. And then on Wednesday, which was the Volcano, I asked her to come and meet me for lunch at the Four Seasons, and I was greeted by 5 suits. Ellen was sitting in a chair, and I said, as far as I remember, I didn't invite anybody else to lunch today. And they said, we know that you want to take Ellen to the premiere, and we're here to tell you that you will be fired from your $10 million picture deal if you do it. And then Ellen looked at me. I was sitting on the armchair because she lit a Four Seasons chair, and she said, do what they say. You don't know what you're up against. We've only known each other for a couple of days. And I said, I do know what I'm up against. I'm up against sitting in a room after you've just come out on national television to preserve the right of anybody to be able to love who they want to love. And now you're sitting in the soup of the demise of a culture that does not pay attention to that truth. I will take you to the premiere, and whatever those consequences are, my dear, I will face.
Whether they realized it at the time or not, that moment helped Macon and Ellen important public figures in the LGBTQ community, and later said she paid a serious price for being open about her relationship. She claimed she lost a $10 million deal and was basically blacklisted from Hollywood for around 10 years. However, when you look at Anne's IMDb history, the story seems more complicated. Her career did not suddenly disappear after 1997. Between 1997 and 2000, she continued getting major roles and appearing in big projects. Things seemed to change around 2000. Her roles became smaller, she appeared in fewer projects, and she was no longer starring in the same kind of major movies. So what changed around 2000? Interestingly, that was also the year Anne and Ellen broke up. And the breakup was followed by a very strange incident involving Anne in August 2000, about 40 miles west of Fresno, and reportedly showed up at a stranger's home. According to reports, she told the people there that she was God and claimed she was going to take them to heaven in her spaceship.
No one ever knew what propelled H across the desert until today.
Fresno was the culmination of a journey, of a world that I thought I needed to escape to in order to find love. So in the pain, I think what triggered the pain of my breakup with Ellen was a bottoming out of, there's no love here. I'm gonna go get love.
Were you on ecstasy? Is that what caused this?
I have done drugs in my life. I'm not a consistent drug user, and I never was with ecstasy either. I was told to go to a place where I would meet a spaceship. I was told in order to get on the spaceship that I would have to take a hit of ecstasy. Again, a voice. All of this justification for the end of this journey. I did go to a house. I did ask people to join me. I did go to the hospital.
H spent one night strapped to a gurney in the psychiatric unit of a Fresno hospital. Anne.
Yes.
The next day, your manager, Lauren Lloyd, and her friend, Kathy, who was your friend, come to see you in this hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And said, in effect, come back to us. We care about you. We love you. And like that, you were okay? 31 years of what you call insanity, and in that one day, you were fine?
Here's the thing. I always thought you had to leave the world to get love. And I was being shown that you could stay in the world and have love. I love my life. I just didn't like the life I was raised in, but I love my life, and I chose to keep it.
The timing is what makes people look twice. This happened during the same month that Anne and Ellen ended their relationship. According to reports, and was the one who ended things. But Ellen later said she had no idea why. She reportedly said she was completely blindsided and wanted answers just like everyone else. That is where the story gets complicated. If Anne was the one who ended the relationship, why did she seem to struggle so much afterward? People continued asking that question for years. Then, in 2021, Anne finally opened up about what really happened and explained why their relationship came to an end.
And they're like, oh, there's Anne H. talking about Ellen again. Anne doesn't talk about Ellen. We've done a few TikToks that our social media team has suggested.
Listen, if we don't pay attention to what people want to listen to, we're stupid. I mean, give me a break. There's one question people want to know. What do I think about Ellen? And in fact, I haven't said that yet. I have not rambled on about her for one single moment. For 20 years, I have withheld my understanding. I have been canceled since the day I was born. I've been buried since the day I was born. Every single truth that I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, or despised more, and then had calculated visions and circulations of systems that spun me up and out of the system that would in any way challenge the fact that she was not telling her own truth, but another's. Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I called my mother. Guess what? 2 people who wanted more than anything to have my truth buried. It was not my timing. I did not and could not ask God for what that would be. All I could do was stay on my truth, do what I was doing, and study this thing called love that we tried to bury. And now I am up and out of the ground. And unfortunately, those 2 women could not shut me down.
The story then claims that Ellen tried to have Anne institutionalized and silenced. But why? Some people point to the movies Anne worked on and the issues she cared deeply about. For example, she appeared in The Vanished, a movie about a young girl who disappears. When the police fail to find her, the parents decide to search for her themselves. Anne played the mother. One of Anne's final major roles was the girl in Room 13. Despite some claims online, it was a Lifetime movie, not a documentary. The story followed a young woman who is tricked by her former boyfriend after leaving rehab. Because of her past experiences with abuse, people initially have trouble believing her, and did more than just act in the movie. She also took part in public service announcements and spoke publicly about the real-world issue behind the story. However, claims that this somehow made her a target of a criminal organization are allegations and have not been established as fact.
But I do want to talk about how, look, basically what we're saying here is that she basically pitched herself as the queen of kindness, and we're finding that perhaps was not the case. And you're saying that in your experience with her, that was not the case. And in fact, that was kind of your jam. So kind of stole your look.
To say the least.
And
How
so,
does my
and
hair
so
look,
the
by the
irony
way?
of it is that you've always been saying the same thing. You are somebody who's
That's
always
one thing you can say about
been
me.
saying the same thing. And when you say something that is not quite organic to you or truthful, you're gonna get popped. And where I see her having done this and just plain proof, people can tell us all the things they want to tell us, but I saw it completely when she did the 20th anniversary of her coming out episode. And she sat with Oprah and they did an entire documentary on it. And your name was not mentioned once. You were cut out of the story. You were actually literally cut out of the picture. They showed when you and Ellen went on Oprah's show and they had a tight shot on Ellen and you were sitting right next to her and you were cut out of it and you were cut out of that part of the story. And you were such a big part of that story because when you took her to that movie premiere and you were basically blackballed from that moment on, that's a part of the story. And she, with her big platform, just took you, not only did she take you out of the history of that, she, from what we're finding out, every opportunity she got to block you from working to support your family.
And also encourage people to learn how human trafficking works so they could recognize when someone might be in danger. This became an important part of her work later in her career, including around 2022. She also spoke about feeling much safer when Ellen was far away. On the Just the Two of Us podcast, and reportedly said she felt like she could finally breathe because Ellen was literally on the other side of the world. Keep in mind, they had already been separated for around 20 years. So people naturally started asking why and still seemed to feel such a strong sense of relief with Ellen so far away, and also talked about another book she was planning. Her first memoir was called Call Me Crazy, while the follow-up was supposed to be called Call Me Anne. She explained that the first book focused on the difficult experiences she had gone through, including her childhood and the challenges she faced while becoming a successful actress. The second book was meant to focus more on healing, overcoming those experiences, and becoming a stronger person. She also planned to share more about her relationship with Ellen, which she described as traumatic.
And the fact that it's taken us 20 years to be able to be at a point where we can listen to the truth again.
And Ellen's fine. She can sit on her pile of money.
I hope you like your money, because that's why I broke up with you. Do you like sitting on your piles of cash? Because guess what? It gets you exactly where you are. And by the way, baby, it's what you wanted then, and I hope you're liking it now. Cheers.
You broke up with her because she had a lot of money, or you broke up with her because...
I broke up with her because her goal was to have a lot of money, and mine was to find love, and hers was I want 60 billion. Good luck. Our forks are never going to meet. The further we stay on with this, the further we will be apart. Okay.
She didn't live in that love and kindness.
No, she didn't. But you and I don't talk about revenge a lot,
No, we don't. There's one thing that I remember. There is one little nugget that I do have a sense of wanting a little bit of. I guess the only word is revenge. I feel that you were so wronged, and now to know that you were continuing to be wronged, it fires me up a little bit, and especially when you look at somebody like Ellen, who literally is sitting on a pile of $60 billion, and then
could feed countries,
right? And then
but you got a Porsche.
I mean, you're not hurting.
Now, this is where the story becomes much more serious. When someone is described as greedy, the real concern isn't simply that they want money. The bigger question is what they might be willing to do to get it. August the 5th, 2022, started like a normal day for Anne Heche. But she had no idea that by the end of that day, her life would tragically come to an end.
Actress Anne Heche remains in a coma after that fiery car crash. Her condition is far worse than originally believed.
Oh my gosh!
According to her spokesperson, she's in critical condition and on a ventilator. Her burns will require surgical intervention, and she has significant pulmonary injury. We're also learning that roughly 30 minutes before the crash, she stopped by this hair salon in Venice Beach.
Did you recognize her as the actress when she walked in?
Not initially, but after looking at her, I was like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
Hairstylist Richard Glass took this selfie with Heche after she bought a red wig from his salon.
She looked up top and said, hey, can I buy that red wig? I said, sure. So I went up to grab it for her. I told her, I said, it's not cut or styled. She says, no worries. I want it anyway.
Did she appear in any way inebriated or drunk or impaired?
She did not. She wasn't slurring her words. She had bright, beautiful blue eyes. She was just a sweet girl.
After the random encounter, Glass went on about his day at the salon. Then came news of the accident.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just started praying for all involved.
And was trapped inside the car for nearly 49 minutes before firefighters were finally able to rescue her. She was taken to the hospital, but she never regained consciousness about a week later, after remaining in a coma and sadly passed away. According to official reports, her family eventually decided to take her off life support, and her organs were donated according to her wishes. Her death was officially ruled an accident. However, some people have questioned certain details surrounding what happened. One claim often repeated online is that Anne was initially declared dead at the scene but later appeared to move while being placed on a stretcher. That claim should be treated cautiously unless supported by reliable evidence.
And some serious burns, according to the fire department. The LAPD saying that Haish appeared to be under the influence and was acting erratically. According to witnesses, she may have also been speeding. They saw her in a blue Mini Cooper. They say she first crashed into an apartment building near here, then took off from that location and ended up crashing into this house here on Walgrove. This Mar Vista home immediately caught fire. It took 59 firefighters about an hour to fully put out the fire. Following the accident, a rep for the actress released this statement to CNN. Take a look. Anne is in the ICU. She's lucky to be alive. She has severe burns and a long recovery ahead of her. Her team and her family are still trying to process what led up to this. Now, Haish's condition has since been upgraded. She is now in stable condition and in recovery. As for the homeowner, according to the GoFundMe page, she's been identified as Lynn Michelle, a resident here in Mar Vista. Neighbors are trying to raise money for her to pay for some of the damages. So far, about $60,000 has been raised. Now, earlier we did say she was in the house at the time, but again, we don't know if she was injured. Back out here live, the LAPD waiting to speak with Anne Heche in order to figure out exactly what happened here. Part of the investigation we do know is speeding, and this street right here, not sure if you can tell from this live shot, but it is a T, so a very dangerous situation if you are not following the speed limit, and especially if you're under the influence.
And this is where some people started questioning what they saw. Video footage appears to show and being covered with a white cloth while she was still alive. Skyfox footage also shows her suddenly moving and appearing confused while wrapped in the covering after the crash. However, that part does not automatically mean anything suspicious happened. Firefighters and paramedics follow specific safety procedures when rescuing someone from a badly damaged or burning vehicle. Still, the footage has led some people to ask another question. If modern technology can allow vehicles to be controlled remotely, could that technology ever be misused? An alleged former CIA agent is then shown discussing technology that can reportedly allow remote access or control of vehicles. However, this does not prove that any such technology was used in Anne's crash.
I heard you on Diary of a CEO saying the CIA can wrest control of your car. You know, our cars have these big brains now that I mean, you know, if the car company can't, like whatever the service is, if you get into an accident, you can just sort of say, help me. If they can get in there, sure, I bet it's hackable by somebody else to the point where they could potentially drive your car right off the road. Yes. If they could do that, then why would they ever have to do anything more explicit? Why would they ever have to do mind control over anybody at a rally in Pennsylvania if that's what they want? You know, like there would be ways of getting rid of you that would be so undetectable and not suspicious that they could be doing that all the time. They wouldn't have to go about mind control, MK Ultra, LSD. You know what I'm saying? So that to me, that undermines the theory that they're doing any of these public executions explicitly or behind the scenes.
I think that's right. But think of it this way, too. I'm going to tell you a little funny little anecdote about one of my promotion panels. I had been working with a psychologist in the CIA's Counterterrorism Center to come up with outside the box ideas on how to recruit spies to steal secrets. And she happened to also sit on my promotion panel. And she said in my promotion panel, in great support of my promotion, she said, John Kiriakou will come up with 40 different ideas for an operation. 36 of them are insane, but 4 of them are going to be really good. So imagine sitting around the table and somebody comes up with an idea to put an explosive in Fidel Castro's cigar. Well, that's a stupid idea. If you're going to get close enough to put an explosive in the cigar, just in the head, for example, if that's what you really want to do. So there are a lot of people sitting around a lot of conference room tables at the CIA coming up with really stupid ideas. And then there are nodding heads all around the table saying, yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that. So, you know, the bottom line is this. We know, thanks to WikiLeaks and the Vault 7 revelations, that the CIA can remotely take over your car. They can make you drive off a bridge or into a tree or into an abutment and kill you if they want to.
If and really was investigating Ellen and alleged connections to Epstein. Some people may see the circumstances of her death as suspicious, especially because of the questions and rumors that followed. But there is no confirmed evidence that Anne was targeted or that her death was connected to Ellen or Jeffrey Epstein. So was it simply a tragic coincidence? Or is there more to the story? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.